around the gym. That's all they do, or that maybe that their mental capacity is diminished, like they're just stupid or whatever, they're meatheads. And I feel like while that's true sometimes, it's not true all the time. I feel like having a really good body that you're proud of, one that you can look in the mirror and be like, man, not only do I feel like I look good, I feel awesome. And I can go through my day and not hurt. And I know that I get, I can attract the good kind of attention, and like people can see that I'm confident by the way that I carry myself and my posture. And I think that's something that's really awesome. So I think that's good, and I think that's something that never ends either, because even though I gained 40 pounds of muscle and I built this body that I'm proud of, it's still this thing that I'm going to work on for the rest of my life. And goals change too. So now my goal isn't to gain as much muscle as possible, even though I help a lot of guys do that through the program. Now my goal is to, get more flexible, because that's something I neglected for years. And that's something I've really been working on the last couple of years. And get more mobile and maybe increase my cardiovascular endurance. A few things like that.
A horrible one to work towards.
It's not fun, man. And at the same time, though, maintain the body that I do have and put on a little bit more muscle and keep my strength up, or even gain more strength. So I feel like the body's a huge one, and I feel like you can chase different versions of success. I feel like you can go toward money, or you can go toward fame, or you can go toward whatever, and you have to look at the intention behind it. And whatever you do every day, you have to sit there and realize, am I doing things that actually make me happy? Or are my motivations for doing this outside of me? Like, are other people or is popular culture dictating or incredibly influencing the way that I view my life and what I think success is? And I feel like every guy would really benefit from writing down what success means to them. And I feel like no one does that because they look to other sources for what success is. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm rambling right now, but I really do feel like writing down what success means to you, whether that's, and get really concrete with it, whether that's $100,000 in the bank and an annual salary of $200,000, whether that's becoming a millionaire, whether that's having an amazingly hot wife that you love and you grow old together for 40 years, whether it's you're like a player type and you like sleep with women all the time, whatever your version of success means to you, then I think that's an admirable goal to go for. I feel like, who am I to tell someone what's awesome and what's not? I just know what's awesome for me and what makes me feel good and successful. So I feel like if every guy sat down and just wrote down a sentence or two of what success means to them, they would begin to see how to actually get there.
Yeah, that sort of follows the philosophy of the site, because the tagline for Alpha Male Examples is to leave the herd behind. It's to leave the herd mentality, to stride out on your own and make your own decisions, take responsibility. And like you were saying, is a lot of people can't make that decisions about what success means to them because their judgment's clouded. They have other people who have to show them the way or lead them. Whereas I'm trying to get back to the way of guys who make their own decisions, make their own choices, and strive towards their own goals. And unfortunately, there's not many guys out there anymore that do that.
And really, man, I'm going to completely interrupt you for a minute, because I feel like that's something that's really fantastic, and it's something that I think is an admirable goal. But I also think it's important to realize that you don't do it alone. That, escaping the herd just means that you join a smaller pack, as opposed to just going out on your own. You join a different pack that pushes you to be amazing, that pushes you to be successful. And I feel like all the decisions you make you should have empathy toward other people and other people's feelings and thoughts and all that. And inherently, everything you do is going to be selfish, because you want a good life for yourself. But I feel like going at it alone and not getting any help is another surefire way of failing or feeling apathetic and depressed, just like following the herd is. I feel like it's like this medium place in between where you can leave all the popular culture stuff that doesn't resonate with you and leave the herd, but also just join this small pack of like-minded guys and girls or whoever that push you to be awesome and who you also push to be awesome.
I mean, you probably said it a lot better than I should have said myself, but you know, I'm hoping that the site will become like that, where it builds a community of guys who want to do that. So, you know, there's a place they can go who, like myself, who had to move away from friends who just wanted to drink, you know, every night, who didn't want to sort of, you know, adapt or develop themselves. And I found a lot of guys, other bloggers on, you know, online like yourself, Chad, Jose, people like that, you know, who actually were sort of motivation, and they were, because of the internet, it allowed you to they bring their teachings to you, you know, the motivation from there. And I think the way you put it is probably something I should copy down and write on the site. You know,
You can feel free to use that.
because I'm trying to break down the connotations, you know, the sort of negative associations people have of alpha males. You know, it's a lot of people think it sounds like the, you know, the aggressor guy who wants to go beat up you for looking at his girlfriend, and I'm just finding that there's a lot of negativity surrounding the term, so I'm trying to get it back to just.
That's the thing too, man. There's a difference between assertiveness and aggression, and I feel like that's where people get lost. They think alpha male, or they think, you know, brawny, or they think hero, or whatever these adjectives are that we're going to use for things, and they have this opinion that it's an aggressor, that it's someone that, like, you know, in the scrawny or brawny case, that we just build these guys into giant meatheads and we never focus on anything else in their life. And that's okay that people think that, because I'm not trying to convince people. I'm trying to help, you know, I'm not trying to convince 1 million people. I'm trying to help the 500 guys that understand and want help and want to be awesome and want to be better. And I think that's when you know who your true audience is, when you can just speak to that and leave everyone else, you know, leave everyone else alone.
I mean, somebody that I believe is a friend of yours who's a great example of that is John. Is it Romanello?
Yeah, John Romanello. Just call him Roman. It's a lot easier.
He's when you go on his site, when he does book reviews of like Twilight, but then talks about different supplements, and it's like yourself. It's that wide-ranging topics, like you're both intelligent, interesting guys talking about different lifestyle aspects, but talking about working out. Then you move to women, back to beer. You know, that's a great example that you don't have to sort of pigeonhole yourself into the guy that works out or the guy that reads all the time. You can best of both worlds, you know.
Yeah, well, that's the whole thing, man. Is let other people pigeonhole you, because then you have an advantage. You know what I mean? Like, let other people do that. And really, we teach our guys that they're not defined by a label. So even though I get satisfaction, and you know what I'm talking about when I say we're gonna turn you into a hero, or when you say alpha male, it's really just a tagline, or it's really just a word that means all this stuff, and we just encapsulate it in one word or one sentence. But to be tethered to that is pretty detrimental too, right? So it's like knowing what the qualities of an alpha male are without feeling like you always have to be this expression of an alpha male.
I mean, something I try to tell the guys a lot is, if you have to prove that you're alpha, you're already proving you're not. The second you feel the need to establish your dominance over somebody, you're already seeing them as a threat. You're looking at it from lower perceived. You know, you should be helping people up. You should be working towards your own goals and not caring about other people's opinions, but still show the respect, the empathy, help other people if possible. You know, and I think that's what a lot of people struggle with the alpha males, is they look at it from the sort of negative side effects of it, but there is a lot of positive, I suppose you could call them side effects, that come from it as well. So talking of, you know, how you were saying that you would speak to the guys who are interested in your program, if you had every single guy lined up in front of you, you know, it's like the biggest conference you'd ever been to. You get a couple of minutes to go to the stand, and you spoke to every single guy at once. Is there something in particular you maybe want to say to them? Do you have a message? Would you promote a product?